Welcome. I'm Janelle Kolaski, a career mindset coach and actor.
And I'm Amanda Dubois, a self-authenticity and prosperity life coach and actor as well. And we're your co-host of Mindset Artistry YouTube channel,
where we teach you the art of discovering and using your mindset
to build a career and life you desire.
So today we are talking about the importance of values. And values are a pinnacle portion of your life, and how, hey Mo, values are really giving yourself permission to live the way you want authentically, right? Because when you have values and you understand them, you know how you want to move through the world. Hi, Amy. You know how you want to move through the world. You know the type of people you want to be around, the goals that you want to set, the environment you want to be in, your home, traveling, all the things that are important to you. They start to structure the way you want your life to feel, be, and look like 100,000%. And so as a self-authenticity and prosperity life coach, that is one of the very important pinnacles of self-authenticity and prosperity. And with that comes like career. And when you know your values, you also have a better understanding of what type of career you want. If this is the job for you, if this is the job environment, like what do you value in your job, right? And when you become more aware of your values, you become a better communicator. Hello. So that is just the kind of overall aspect of what we're going to talk about, right? We're going to talk about making choices that align with you, your environment, your body, your mind, and jobs or relationships, right? You can also be aware of the way you approach life, right? And how you move through it and the people that you want to interact with. You're going to identify your path, your life's journey, your life's purpose, right? With understanding your values, right? Because that is also a part of yourself. That's a part of self-authenticity. It's a part of self-identity. And better understanding the relationships that you're involved in currently and where you want to go with these relationships. Maybe you're unsure, but if you are rooted in the values and what you want your relationships to feel like and be like, then it's a better way for you to communicate with the person that you're involved with. Hello. And that can be partners like Janelle and myself who are co-partners with this. It can be people you work with. It can be every person that you interact with. There is a relationship. So remember that. And then again, you'll be a better communicator and you'll better understand who you are, and you'll be better. You'll have a better way of, what's the word? It'll come to me. You'll be a better communicator. Okay, so now, when you think of values, as an actor, as a performer, as a model, as a person, right, in all avenues of your life. Hello, thank you for joining, everyone. Can I get some hearts, some high fives, comments that you're listening, that you're here? I am so excited. If you can't tell, that it is a Sunday morning and we're here thriving, baby, thriving. So now, when you think of values, thank you. When you think of values and you think of that in all aspects of your life, what is, let's say, the most important aspect, and what you realized, what was it that you realized that when you actually understood your values, how it shifted those aspects in your life?
I would say that integrity really runs deep with me, and not in the morality of the word, because people hear integrity and they think of morality. But I'm talking about integrity with yourself, being authentic to who you are, and that will tell you what you want to do with your career. I just posted something that David Bowie said, and he said about artists copying or doing what other people are doing just so they can find a way in. And it's not about even like taking something. I want us to focus in on what I'm talking about here. It's about not being yourself. So artists often sometimes feel they have to have the pressure. Actors all the time. I have to have the headshot that looks like this. I have to go to this class because that person did, and all these things. And it's good to try different things on, but what is important to you, your values? What is the story you're telling? What aligns with you? What honors you? And I think that really, as you said, runs into every area of your life.
Beautiful. I love that. You've hit two amazing things, integrity and honor. And that is the self. That is a self-authenticity. That is being 100,000% yourself. So in order to understand yourself, you have to really dig deep into your values, which means you actually have to sit down and write down your values. Now, some of them may be, I'm sorry, I'm a cursor. It's going to be bullshit because you've been told that they're valuable throughout life. Society's throwing at you like, this is valuable. This is valuable. But is it really valuable, or is it valuable to them based on their perspective of life? You have to understand your perspective on life in order to understand what your values are, which means digging deep into what would make you happy, what would make you abundant, what would make you joyful. What does success look like? If you say like, oh, I value success. Well, that's bullshit because I don't know what that is. Success could be, I went up a flight of stairs today and I feel successful because my thighs are really working and burning. That is a successful moment in my life, right? Hello, Thomas. Thank you for joining, right? That is successful, right? But what do you mean by success? Is it a career? Is it like a vocation that you are joyful to wake up and do every day, which we should all be able to do every single day? Please believe that. Your job or your career or your vocation, however you want to label it or call it, it should be something that you enjoy doing every day, right? And I know we all have hard times. We all do. We all have difficult days, right? But when you understand the positivity in the job that you're doing and the more so of the service of it, you'll discover the benefits of it. You'll find the joy, the light, even in the dark, because you'll know that you are the light in the dark. Oh, that was nice. I like that. All right. Anyway, that happens sometimes, but right. I know I got to write it down. Ting, ting. So as far as like, again, your values, that is a part of digging deep into it. So you would have to sit down and really identify what you value. And that can be, and as far as value, like every aspect in your life, be as specific as possible. And I'm not saying like you're going to be so stuck and like stringent about it and you're not going to be flexible. No, you're just going to have an understanding and you'll be better. Again, it will help you shape the people around you in a way because you'll be able to identify if this person isn't for your values or your views. Now, I'm not saying, again, to dismiss anybody and their values, but when you understand your values, you also have a sense of empathy because you understand like, well, this person values family. They enjoy spending time with their family or with their friends. That's amazing. That makes them happy. I don't take it personal. You won't take it personal, which is one of the 4 agreements. If you ever read that book, The 4 Agreements is right. Don't take it personal. We are all living our lives and each one of us has different experiences, right? So you become better understanding of empathy towards others and you'll be able to connect with others as well on an actual authentic level, on a real level, not the surface to ego driven level. You'll be able to identify with them and go, yeah, I can see why. And that's amazing for you. Great. So again, you're going to dig deep. You're going to write them down in categories. Right? Write them down in categories. This helped me a lot and so much in my development as a person and as an actor, as a performer, as a storyteller, as a life coach, as a person that walked in throughout this world. Because when I understood my values, I understood that there was a lot of people that I didn't need in my life. They just weren't good for me. They were a bit toxic, right? But that can be subjective, but they just weren't serving where I wanted to go, right? They weren't serving my healing. They weren't serving the wounds that I was dealing with, right? They were actually feeding it. They were digging deep into them, right? Which is also a good thing because then you know that they exist, which means it has to be addressed. So you have to look, it's also a good thing to look at things from different perspectives. We get so caught up in our emotions that, when you have such things as your values, when you have such things identifying who you are, you'll be able to take a step back and look at things for what they are. Look at people for what they are. And again, not take it personal and make decisive decisions, right? Within your values and understanding that when you break it down in categories from family, friends, your job, your environment, your home, right? Well, maybe I want a backyard. Maybe I want to live in the city because I like that. or maybe I want to go to the suburbs or in an urban area, like these are things, or maybe I just want to be surrounded by grass and trees. And when I wake up in the morning, I can go outside and possibly see a deer. Those are values that make me happy, that will also transcend into my actions in life, right? They will transcend into the actions that you do and interacting with strangers and the people around you. So when I understood that, I had a better understanding of, again, the people that I didn't want in my life, or who just weren't serving my growth, right? They weren't serving where I wanted to go. They were just serving the person that I was and I am right now, but they're not uplifting me. They're not challenging me in positive ways, right? So when I did that, I shift and I asked, and you're going to say pray or write it down, like take the people out of my life that no longer serve my alignment. And you can say that, and they will actually go away without harm. But you'll, again, be aware of those people. Then you'll be aware of the people that are in your life and that are for you, and you'll better communicate what you value within yourself, within the relationship, and if it needs improvement. Like if they're great, like if it's a partner and you value affection, tell them that. I know it's not maybe something that you do, but I enjoy affection. And it's nothing against you, but let's talk it out and let's see how we can incorporate that into our relationship. And it allows you to have no judgment. As Janelle always talks about, is hashtag no judgment. It allows you to have no judgment with people. Now, let me just jump back to you and give time for people to ruminate these things, these aspects of values, right? Ruminate on these things. Now, for everything that I've talked about so far, as far as like, communication, relationships, authenticity and identity, and you talked about honor and integrity, what else would you say that value has contributed to your life as far as, again, your career or just your personal growth?
Well, speaking of hashtag no judgment, there were definitely a few points that I really wanted to say more about, because it is a hard dance. It is very scary to identify within yourself what you do value, because it might mean that people may fall away. And I do like that you're pointing out, everyone just has a different perspective on life. And what it really is about is not just being around people that agree with you, but being around people that are going to support what you're doing. I have friends, unfortunately, that have fallen away because our values are different, and I wish them love and light, but it won't work, and you can feel that. I also have another recent situation where I really love the people, but I see that it's not going to work anymore because of their values. And although I can see their values and understand them, I also have to value myself enough to stand up and be like, well, my values matter too. Mm-hmm. And if they aren't willing to be as open-minded and empathetic towards my values as I am towards theirs, it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. And then what happens a lot, especially in career, I'm working with clients and they're worried because they just want to work, and then the client doesn't really align with their values, and then they're like, I'll just make it work anyway, and then they get to set and it's awkward and it's weird and the vibe is off. But when you're really standing strong and very rooted and know what your values are, doing the exercise that Amanda gives, writing everything down, it's just like you're a lighthouse. Your light just goes out and attracts energetically the things that will align with you. And it's a very scary thing to do. Mm-hmm. So hashtag no judgment, because it's hard, but we want the best for you. And whether that's for your career or any other part of your life, you have to just listen to yourself and what you need and operate that way, instead of what everybody else tells you is correct or will work or everything. Because you look at anybody that's really totally had, I don't know, these actors I see in the careers they have, they didn't listen to everybody. Mm-hmm. There are actually many people that told them what they were doing was wrong or crazy, or they didn't have what it took, or all these things. And the people that really made it were like, but this is my value and this is what I believe in, and I'm going to keep going. And eventually they matched up with the right people and opportunities. So I just want to offer encouragement to people that it's difficult, but it's necessary for growth and for you to really have the life you desire.
Well, Janelle, that was well said. I am so grateful that you actually acknowledged that, because it's going to be a challenge. Here's the thing. Any topic that we talk about during Coffee with Coaches, any source of development, anything that you're going to do in order to improve your life is going to be challenging, because you're going to have two portions of yourself constantly being conflicted. They're going to be like two rams, right? Not two rams. We're both Aries. We get it, right? It's going to be two rams that are constantly going to be butting horns and butting heads constantly, because one's going to be like trying to push to I'm right. No, you're right. I'm right. I'm right. I'm right. They're going to be constantly challenging each other. This is when it's really important to, again, understand such things as your values. Have empathy with yourself. Be kind with the process and take your time. Because this is not something that's going to happen overnight. I know there's such things as having epiphany, waking up and going, oh, I got it now. But within that epiphany, you've been ruminating or thinking about this or working towards this for months, maybe even years, and it finally clicked. There was a wire, there was an energetic urge, like surge that went through your body and was like, aha! It finally clicked to understand it. So it's like, aha moment. But your mind has been thinking about it unconsciously. Right. Hi, Loxley. Thank you so much for joining. Is anyone listening still? Are you still present? Can I get some hearts, some likes, some comments? How do you feel about values? We're here, this is a space for you. Thank you so much. And again, they said, hi, Angel Kolaski. Ooh, I like that, Angel Kolaski. I should be calling you Angel. Yes, thank you. Yes. When all of this is going to be challenging. So don't feel bad if you have harder days than others. Because the thing is that the best that you're doing today is going to be different than yesterday or tomorrow, or even a couple of hours from now. So again, be kind to yourself and listen to your body and your mind, right? Because when you have these solid foundations, these pillars, hey Mo, love you. When you have these incredible pillars, hi, when you have these pillars, you'll have a sense of foundation. You'll know what to come back to be emotionally regulated, how to regulate yourself back into anything like such as stress, or, again, we all have daily challenges. It's inevitable. Let's be honest. No one person is happy all the time. I'm sorry, that is bullshit, right? But you can be grateful and joyful, but you're not going to be happy all the time, because something's going to either activate something in you, it throws something off, and that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Take a nap, go to the bathroom, take a quick walk, drink a cup of coffee, drink some water, pray a little bit, exercise, read a couple of paragraphs of something that's going to stimulate you to get out of that mindset, and then come back and reset. That was one of my best advice. If you feel disconnected or lost or just overwhelmed, depressed, anxiety, all these things that come up every single day, take a moment away from it. Take a step back. Like literally take a step back physically, mentally, emotionally, and see things for what they are. Do something different. Get your body moving, your mind out of it, and then come back to it, because you're allowing your mind and your body to reset, to look at it from another perspective, to get a clearer mind. You're literally helping your subconscious release the tension so that I can refocus, right? And with that, it's one of those things is like knowing my values. Like if you're like activated in a conversation and the person is not valuing, put a pin in it. Exactly. Put a pin in it. Put a pin in it. Yes. And that's the easiest way to say it. Put a pin in it, right? We all have emotions. We're all very emotional beings. But, knowing those such things as those values, you'll be able to understand if this, again, I know Nell talked about just knowing when a relationship is no longer serving you because they're devaluing you. And again, we're not saying to like cut people off right away. Like, well, you don't understand my values, so goodbye now. No, we're not saying that at all. We're saying that when you have a better understanding of values, like you said, you exude a light and an energy. You attract people that are going to elevate you. There are people in my life that dwindled away. Our values changed. And I'm thankful for the experiences that we had. Absolutely, because it taught me so much about myself, about people, about my everything in my life. So I don't regret any of those things, right? But there are certain points in our lives where we no longer connect, like Legos. A piece fell off, is melted some way, a kid bit it, a dog got into it, something, right? Some way, somehow, it no longer fits. And that's okay. People are not sometimes not meant to be in our lives forever. But the beauty is we still have those beautiful memories, those times. Treasure that. Think about more of the positive things than the negative. And when you're exuding that light and you understand your values and you are a better communicator because you're better, like, again, emotionally regulated, you'll start to be able to help others as well do the same. You're encouraging others to do the same. It's like, wow, I never really thought about my values. Or, I was told that my value is this, that, and the third. Hi, I never thought about that. That's really interesting. They also get to understand you better. I'm sorry, we're not mind readers. I can't tell you what's important. Like, someone can assume. Assuming is going to make an ass out of you and me, right? They cannot assume that this makes you happy unless you tell them. Communicate that to them, right? If you're in a relationship, again, listen, I value going out once a week. Great. Let's figure out how we can make that happen, or whatever it is. But understanding and having that open communication, because it's not about compromising, it's about understanding each other, empathy, right? And then when you understand your values, you also have a better understanding of your life's path. When you understand what you value, you can identify the jobs that are for you. Like, great, I'm in a job that I don't like. That's fine. I've been there. I was in a job that I didn't like at 9 to 5. I really, truly hated it towards the end and I left. But now that I look back at it, I'm grateful for it because it taught me a lot about what I valued. Like, I enjoyed the office setting, but I valued more the ability to travel wherever I needed to work and connect with people instead of being behind a desk or a computer, right? Mind you, I'm at a table right now behind a computer, which is ironic, but it's in a different capacity, right? So I understand. So when you understand the values, you'll also be able to, like, maybe the job that you have, maybe it's a great job, but it's the position that you're in. Maybe this position is not challenging you in a positive way. It's not bringing the creative aspect out of you that you want to be creative. Great. Then you understand that and you can work towards finding something that does within that job. Because maybe you do love that job. It's just the position that you're in. Maybe you need a bit more of a challenging environment. Something that's going to challenge you to be more creative or, use your mind in a way that is stimulating. Right? And especially as creative beings, I believe that everybody has creative or creativity within them. Please believe that we all have a creative aspect towards us, whether, again, numbers or reading or words, that is creative. That is absolute tools and all those things. Those are creative. Painting, even like fixing stuff in the house, that's creative. A lot of people can't do that. That is your skill. That is your talent. That is your gift. Right? So acknowledging that as well. Within your values, you also appreciate yourself. You value self-care because when you understand value, you put an emphasis on worth for you. Your worth becomes elevated. You understand that your time is worthy. Your energy is worthy, right? It is not say wasted, but on a level where it's not serving you in a way. And again, I'm not saying that every situation you have to be and serve it. Like you got to serve me. You got to serve my happiness constantly. You should be doing that for yourself 100,000%. You should always be serving yourself as far as like happiness. No one should ever make you feel 100% happy. You should always feel happy with yourself. That is a part of self-authenticity. That is knowing that whatever I need, whatever I value, I can do for myself. And if someone contributes to it, it makes it even better. It's about, again, supportship. It's about, that relentless belief in yourself. Now, I see you thinking and ruminating over there, what you got going on. And I just want to check in. People, are you listening? Now the ears open, the eyes can listen too, y'all. Just so you know. All right, now.
Well, I know we have to jump off here soon, but I'll just say quickly that I agree with everything that you're saying, and I don't know if there really is much else to be said other than your values do matter, and what you want to do with your life matters. And sometimes that's going to rub people the wrong way, but that's about them and that isn't about you. If you're living your life and you're making yourself happy and you're serving yourself and you're doing these things without being cruel to others, still be considerate. There are ways to do things. There are ways to be considerate of others and serve yourself, which is true. We can do that. So I've just seen too many times, though, where people don't feel like there is that balance. And I want to encourage you today that there is. And when you make a change within yourself, people will want to fight you on it. People don't want other people to change. And even if consciously they want to encourage you to change, subconsciously their ego is fighting that and the fear is coming out. Well, they change and they're elevated. Where does that leave me?
Mm-hmm.
Misery loves company. And so I encourage you to stay strong. And it's not like people are out to get you or people are bad. It's just this is human nature. People don't like change, even if it's for the best for everybody. With you sticking more to your values, it might help that person too. As Amanda said, it could teach them something, encourage them. Maybe they'll go align with someone that's a better fit for them. But I just see so many times people not adhering to their values because they're worrying about everybody else. And I've been guilty of that too. A lot of it is external validation. We're humans and we have this survival mode, this reptilian brain. Well, I have to stay with the pack. It sounds funny, but evaluate your behavior. Take some time. What feelings are coming up when you do say what you want and it doesn't align with people around you? How does that feel?
Yeah.
If it feels a little scary, there's a biological reason for that. So that's the last thing I'll say today on this live. Take the time Amanda said, write it all down, and know that there is a positive way to show people that you have these new values, you have these new boundaries, and ultimately what matters, it is really best for you and the planet if we all say what we really want.
I love that. No, that was well said. And I will say to that, add to that, is that values do change throughout our life because we have different experiences in every stage in our life. So be flexible and be open to that. And also be honest when identifying your values, because you're going to have a major list of all these values. But what are the top 10? What are the most important? And you will shift that. You go, well, you know what? Think about it. Go, do I really value money as much, or is it more of the freedom, financial freedom? Because you can have, so that's different and that's more valuable than the actual money. What are you getting emotionally, physically, and mentally from these values, truthfully and honestly? And again, lead with kindness and be empathetic towards others, because if you're automatically going, oh, well, I value this, that, and the third, blah, 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 give them time. Because you're going to throw it in their face and they're going to be like, whoa, where is this coming from? Who are you? You've changed. That's okay. Go, listen, you know what? I understand it's a bit much. I get it. It's a lot to comprehend. And it feels like I'm changing, but change should be embraced. You may need time to jump on the wagon or understand that is okay. So give them that space and time to go, this is what I value. And let me know what your thoughts are. Have an honest and truthful conversation about those things, right? And again, lead with kindness and empathy. Don't automatically brush people off just because they don't value your stuff, right? That's not being human. That's not intellectually being human. That's not connecting with someone on a soul level, on a spiritual level, right? You're not connecting. You're not giving them an opportunity to also be themselves as well, to also be their authentic self within the relationship. It's supposed to be almost like not a debate or like you're a team. Think of it that way, right? Like dancing. Exactly. It's like dancing. You're in a rhythm and a movement, and sometimes it gets thrown off. That's okay. Embrace those moments. I would say embrace those moments because it's going to teach you a lot about yourself and about the person. But if someone is disrespecting you, if someone is belittling you, if someone's treating you in an abusive way, that is not to be tolerated. That is something to walk away from. That is something to step away from. Emotional intelligence. Absolutely. It's an emotional intelligence, right? So I know, and I could talk about this all day because I love this topic because again, it's so important to the foundation of who you are. It's one of the pillars of self-authenticity and self-confidence and self-esteem and just your life in general. You'll be able to move better in your life. You'll be able to, without feeling that you have to enforce something for someone. You don't have to be forced to tell someone like all right, I value this. If you don't get it, that's okay. I'm not here to prove a point to you. I'm not here to make you like believe everything I say. You don't have to. That's okay because I know what is important to me. People will always be stuck in the past. People get stuck in the past to who you were, what you were to them. But they got to also understand that with life comes changes every single day. And that should also be embraced. And it's a great opportunity to get to know the new person and learn about themselves and help them maybe shift something in their life to be their most authentic self and abundant self. So again, just lead with kindness. Within those values, just be honest and be flexible with those values. Within that understanding and putting those lists down, you'll scratch a lot of those things off that are bullshit. Again, so be true to your inner self, your truth, your voice. Understand what your voice is within those values, not what other people are telling you to do.
What are your thoughts about this episode?
Drop it in the comments and let us know what you want to dive into next.
Subscribe, like, share, and click the link below to book a free consultation. And
We'll see you next time.